Parts in question one are related to the table in the PowerPoint. Part A, we're asked how much Japanese yen we can get for $1 in May 2017, and we're asked to compare that to how much we can get now. In May 2017, you can use a dollar to get around 113 yen, while right now you can actually purchase only 105 yen with $1. Given our answer to the previous question, did the dollar gain or lose buying power in terms of Japanese goods over this period? Since the amount of yen decreases is like saying the quantity we can get with $1 also decreased, meaning that the purchasing power of a dollar decreased as well. Part C, we're asked to take another currency and repeat the process we did in A and B. So I took the euro currency. So in 2017 of May, a dollar was worth about 0.92 euros, and that increased to 1.17 euros today, meaning that the purchasing power of a dollar increased as well. In question 2, we are asked, according to the PPP theorem, what must be approximately equal across countries, the nominal exchange rate or the real exchange rate? The real exchange rate should be equal. The PPP theorem is basically it says that the purchasing power of a money should be about the same, whether it's the real purchasing power for money should be about the same whether it's spent at home or converted into another country and spent abroad, meaning that it's comparing the basket of goods between two countries. In part 3, we're asked, according to the PPP theory, a country of massive inflation should experience a massive fall in the price of its currency in terms of other countries, which is a depreciation. Is that what happened in Zimbabwe? Yes, because they printed out so much money that the prices had to rise consequently, meaning that their currency lost value as well as compared to other foreign currency. In part B, where it says that hyperinflation is defined as a rapid rise in the price of goods and services. According to the PPP theory, does hyperinflation also cause a rapid rise in the price of foreign currencies? In order for the PPP theory to be verified, the ratio between both countries' baskets of goods would have to be around 1-to-1. So the real exchange rate would have to be around 1-to-1. So therefore, in a period of hyperinflation, the nominal exchange rate would have to change with the foreign currency's purchasing power increasing, meaning that a rapid rise in the price of foreign currencies would also happen as well.
In question 4, we're comparing the International Monetary Fund's role with the role of the World Bank in developing countries. So the International Monetary Fund is more focused on long-term stability and longevity with regards to currencies, while the World Bank is more set up to help out in times of need, which would be more short-term for developing countries. Question 5 deals with some of the jargon typically used when describing currencies and what they mean. For part A, saying that 1 unit of Ferrobian currency now buys 2 units of Bazumian currency where it used to only buy 1, is essentially saying that the Ferrobian currency is stronger, it rose in value, and it appreciated in terms of the Bazumian currency. For part B, when another currency becomes weaker, it can purchase fewer of the other currencies, such as the US dollar. So $10 of US currency can now purchase more of the other country's currency. And for part C, this situation is good news for the student. The dollar is weaker, meaning it can purchase fewer euros, so the euros that the student has can buy more of the US dollars than they could before. And for question 6, we're looking at scenarios involving the Japanese yen and the US dollar. When the Japanese slow the money growth rate, the yen starts to become worth more, so it strengthens the yen against the dollar, which also means that the dollar is depreciating against the yen. And for part C and D, when American demand for Japanese-made cars increases, it's going to strengthen the yen because there's higher demand for it. And again, the dollar will depreciate in value as compared to the yen as a result.
Question 7. If the people who make euros decide to produce more of them, this is a shift in supply, a shift to the right, increase in supply. The price of the euro will decrease since there are more of them, so it's less valuable. Part B. Consumers and businesses want to own a lot more euros. This means a rightward shift in demand, and the price of the euro increases because people start to value it more. They want more. In part C, there's a slowdown in the production, aka supply shift to the left. So the price of the euro increases because they're rarer and more valuable. Part D. Let's say the price of apples increases. If we treat apples as a currency, then this would be like a strengthening of the dollar, and since they're more valuable in comparison to other currencies. All right, question 8. We're supposed to draw an appropriate curve for the effect of this news story. Chinese factories sell poisonous dog food. Well, this results in a decrease of the demand for Chinese dog food, therefore decrease in the demand for the Chinese currency, the yuan. So the demand shifts to the left, as shown on the graph. The Chinese currency becomes weaker, and the US dollar becomes stronger, all other things equal. Question 9. Corey starts to sell cigarettes. He can do it in Utah or Nevada. Thing is, they sell for a lot more in Nevada, so he should sell them in Nevada and buy them cheap in Utah. It's kind of a buy low, sell high type thing. If people start to catch on to this, then supply of lighters in Utah will fall and it will rise in Nevada. And because of this, the price of lighters increases in Utah and decreases in Nevada, aka equilibration. So, at the end of the day, after all this arbitrage, there'll be less than $1 in Nevada because the price has decreased naturally.
For question 10, we said that since the PPP theory states that the real purchasing power of money should be the same, the price level in the US doubles, then the nominal exchange rate with the UK should also double. That is, £1 now should equal to more dollars now in order to match the new price ratio, and the US dollar should depreciate as a result. This would be good news in the long run if US money supply increased dramatically for British tourists headed to the US, because now they only have to pay less pounds for the same amount of dollars. But for US tourists headed to the UK, that's bad news because they have to pay more for the same amount of pounds. However, that would still be good news for US tourists staying in the US because they don't have to pay that extra money. For question 11, we're looking at the supply and demand curve. For the price of exchange rate of 2A per S, the supply of S is higher than demand, and so there is a surplus of S. If the Spartan government wants to keep this rate fixed, it would have to account for risk, and so the official reserve account supply of A will increase because the Spartan government wants to hold on to more atoms in case the overvalued S depreciate. This can translate well into the governments of fixed exchange rate countries. They hold on to large amounts of foreign currencies in reserve because those currency can serve as backup or buffer fund in case the country's own currency becomes highly depreciated. We know that a fixed system makes it harder for the market to adjust to changes in currency values, so holding foreign currency is desirable. If the demand for S falls, the demand of S will cause the Spartanian value to drop, making it harder to maintain the initial exchange rate, and so that would make it harder for Spartans to maintain the exchange rate. If the S government wants to close the gap between supply and demand for their currency, they will want to slow down money growth and decrease the rate of inflation. In that case, the value of S will actually rise and the demand will go up, so the quantity supplied and demanded can be closer together. For question 12, we're again looking at the Fred database. We see that on June 23, 2016, the exchange rate is $1.48 per pound, but on June 27th, it's $1.32 per pound. We see that there is a dramatic decrease in a matter of days. The British pound depreciated since now it requires less dollar for 1 pound, and so that suggests a decreased demand to hold pounds. The actual political event that actually leads to such a change in exchange rate is Brexit. Brexit causes uncertainty since now investors don't know what to expect and fear would be inclined to hold on to pounds. Before Brexit, the UK is in a single market with EU, which provides import and export opportunities with ease, ensuring a free flow of products and money. But after Brexit, UK would be cut off from that single market, and therefore there would be a depreciation in pounds.